Thank you. Thank you. I have to say, I and our daughters are so honored to be honored with the governor. And I know that Deval...
The governor?
The governor. That's what you are, right? We don't normally get to share the podium with him. That's what I mean to say. But we are, as a family, so honored, and I'm so glad that Deval invited the rest of our family up, because it's not just the four of us, it's all of the people here and then beyond. I do, at the risk of embarrassing Katherine, I just want, first of all, before I do that, before I embarrass Katherine, I want to say, too, that this is not just a public government initiative. It ought to be a private employer initiative as well. We can't rely just on the good faith of our public officials. Thank God we have good public officials in this state. But we've got to rely on our private citizens as well. And I just want to give a shout out to my firm, Ropes and Gray. I know that we are somewhere in this room, my colleagues are here. And I just want you to know that as an employer, I am so proud to stand with my firm. We have not only a very active GLBTQ forum, we have celebrations for pride in our diversity. We are celebrating National Coming Out Day shortly, but we also have benefits for transgendered people. We have, so our health insurance benefits, our short-term disability benefits all cover transition. We are drafting a brief on behalf of the ADL to overturn DOMA. We have also signed on to the business community's brief that is going to argue that DOMA is bad for business. I don't think there's anything that is left for us to do. You tell us what there is left to do, and we'll do it. I am very, very proud of what we have done in the private sector, and I hope we stand as an example of what other employers and those of you here who represent employers ought to be doing. So I really honor my colleagues who have been behind this and have pushed, and we've responded. But now I'm going to embarrass Katherine, and I'll let you get to dinner. But what I do want to say is that this isn't hard. This just isn't hard. You know, I don't know why people in this country and elsewhere make it so hard to find a way to embrace all of us. I remember when Katherine told us that she was a lesbian, and we embraced her, and there was no question, not a second of hesitation. But we worried about, you know, what the reaction would be in the larger community, within our own family, and I offered to Katherine to talk to some of our close friends and family members who we weren't sure just how they were going to react, and I didn't want them to hurt her with their reactions. And Katherine said, no, Mom, I'm going to tell everybody this is my this is who I am, and I'm going to stand up for who I am. But she said, but there's one person I don't want to tell, and that's your father, my father. We call him Pops. And Pops is a very generous and loving person, but one thing that we always knew is that he was homophobic. He just wasn't very generous or kind in his words or attitudes toward gay people, and he let us know from the time we were growing up and let my children know what his views were. So we were very, very concerned about how my father would respond. So Katherine and I decided, let's not tell him. Let's just not tell him. He lives in New York. He's you know, in his, you know, late 80s, you know, he'll never know. So we thought blissful ignorance would be fine. But then Bay Windows, thank you, Bay Windows, did a lovely, lovely, wonderful story about Katherine's coming out and did a lovely interview, really just very special. Okay, that was fine, except that my sister in Atlanta called me the day the Bay Windows article came out and said, "Diane, it's on the news in Atlanta." If it's on the news in Atlanta, and by the way, my sister in Atlanta is the first person Katherine told. So we knew we had support there. My sister called and said, "It's on the news in Atlanta. Daddy, who's in New York, is gonna know. You better tell him. You don't want him to see it on the news." And I thought, I just can't do it. And I can't, it will hurt me too much if my father rejects my child. And I just didn't have the courage. And so she said, "Well, I'll do it." And she did. And she called my dad, and I said, "Call me as soon as you get off the phone." And she did. And she said, "I just spoke to Dad." And I said, "What did he say?" And he said, "I love Katherine. Why is this an issue?" And I cried. I called Katherine. I said, "Katherine, Aunt Linny spoke to Pops." She said, "Oh my God, what did he say?" I said, "He said he loves you." And she cried. And then you called Pops. Yep. And the two of them cried together. This is not hard. This is just not hard. It's about love. That's all it's about. It's about love and embracing who we are and who our friends are and who our family are, whatever package they come in. So I just want to say thank you for honoring us, but honoring us for something that's just so simple and easy to do. And again, it's just about love. So thank you very much.